students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today we will be continuing with the topic which we last in the live class, that was the capitalist economy. We had already completed the capitalist economy meaning. Then we completed the features of capitalist economy. Now we will be going to learn the merits of capitalist economy. When we are learning about the merits of capitalist economy, student, here it will be coming. Some of the merits of a capitalist economy are as follows. Very first, encourages economic activities. When we call it encourages economic activities, it states that it is the first benefit what our country was needing, that it requires more and more money to be formed, and for that this producer sector will by their self-owned job they had started making profit, which make not only their own development but later part they make the economic development of the nation. So that is the capitalist economy very first benefit, that it always encourages economic activities to be done. Second thing is maximum efficiency. Definitely to prove themselves to earn more profit, what they will be doing? They will be working related to the efforts what they can do in the business. Matching to the efforts they can do justice to the business, and later on this can make them specialize not only for the business but also they will make efficient in the job. So under capitalist economy maximum efficiency is ensured because no stiff competition which is existing in the market. Very little firms though they were, but the thing was that little firms also, if they want to make the demand of the goods, they must make their efficiency to be efficient. Only those who are able to produce at least cost and sell at the lowest price are able to survive. This least cost and lowest price, why it is signified? Because that time people were not having any income that they can satisfy their needs of higher prices. So definitely that if the people want the things at lower price, we have to produce such type of goods which will cost less to us, and we also can sell at a lower price. So that was the thing. Efficiency came in production of such type of goods to have a long survival of the business. Dynamic economy. The third advantage of capitalist economy. In a capitalist economy there are continuous innovation and diversification which gives it a dynamic name. Rapid economic growth. There is fast growth in output, economic growth and economic development. Under capitalism, individuals enjoy high standard of living. Okay, demerits of capitalist economy. Now comes demerits. Yes, definitely. When we are having the demerits, we will also have the demerits. Let us have the demerits. According to Karl Marx, he said, capitalism contains seeds of its own destructions. Some of the demerits of a capitalist economy are as follows. Very first, unequal distribution of income and wealth. In a capitalist economy, there is very unequal distribution of income and wealth. So production gets affected by the demand of rich society rather than needs of the poor society. Some inequality is undesirable from moral, economical, social and political point of view. Yes, definitely. If the producer think only about the wealth maximization and for that he produce the goods only for the rich society, what the poor people will be doing? On whom they will be depending to fulfill their needs and wants? From where they can get the job and the income? So that was the drawback of the capitalist economy. It was unethical, unmoral for the people. The society is divided into two sections. One is the rich and the poor. The gap behaves between haves and have-not goes on widening with inheritance of private property. To see only about the profit, they were just working for the things which can make them profitable. In that sense, they had not concentrated on the problems and the things faced by the poor people. So they were just an advantage for the higher society. Business instability. Definitely, those who cannot cope with the competition in this particular economy, there were no life of that particular business. Since there is no role of the government, production decisions are taken by the millions of entrepreneurs, which was taken place. The result may be overproduction or underproduction and business instability. Because government is not having any control over the business existing in capitalist economy, this problem of instability was common with them. Sometimes they produce over and sometimes they produce very less. They maintain the demand and supply of the goods as per their choice. Consumers exploitation. Definitely, in capitalist economy, price mechanism is the basic thing. And when we think, when we says about the price mechanism, in which price will be decided by the producer of the particular goods, not by the government. In that economy, we can say the consumer will get exploited, because whatever price the producer will be putting, they have to pay that. So in a capitalist economy, there is a bias in favor of monopolies, which have profit maximization as the only motive. Monopolists exploit consumer by charging higher prices for lesser output. Misallocation of productive resources. In capitalist economy, resources are allocated where profit are maximum. There is no place for social welfare. It generally results in misallocation of productive resources. So that is, resources were not properly utilized. The producer, as they want the resources, they were utilizing, and there were more and more misutilization of resources. Socialist economy student. When we talk about the next economy after the capitalist economy which taken place in our country was the socialist economy. Seeing the drawbacks of the capitalist economy, government now interfere in the economic decisions, because they find the poorer condition were becoming more and more poor, and their condition cannot be stabilized. So because by seeing that to make welfare of the particular all the sections of the people, the government interfere in the matter of business. So that economy, when they see the welfare of the people instead of seeing the profit, that economy name has socialist economy. Meaning and features of socialist economy. Socialist economy is a planned or command economy based on public ownership of property and social welfare motive. Prices are determined by central planning authority. Some of the socialist countries are Hungary, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, etc. The main features of socialist economies are as follows. Very first, public ownership of property or factors of production. There is social or collective ownership of means of production in a socialist economy. Profits earned by different enterprises goes to the state from where they are utilized for social welfare motive. No freedom of enterprise. Freedom was totally stopped by the government by putting licensing and other activities. In a socialist economy, there is no freedom. There is no freedom to enterprise to choose their production combination. The central authority is the state, which will decide which resources must be given to which organization, how much they can be given. So that way, if we are saying there was no freedom to the enterprise, they cannot choose the production combination. The central authority, that means the state government, which plans and decide what, how and for whom to produce. According to that, the economy has to produce. Next comes social welfare motive. When we talk about social welfare motive, the main focus and the main purpose of socialist economy is to make the welfare of all. So here profit maximization has been lacked. Next comes planning mechanism guides production. Here planning mechanism was there, not the price mechanism. Price mechanism become problem for all. So here planning mechanism was given importance instead of price mechanism. The price mechanism is replaced by central planning authority. The central authority decides what, how and for whom to produce. The government owns the resources and has the power to enforce decisions on all the major economic problems. Next come no competition. Definitely when profit is not there, only welfare means is there, competition has been reduced, or you can say it becomes zero since there is no profit. Absence of consumer sovereignty. When we see absence of consumer sovereignty says that consumer is a socialist economy are not independent to decide what to consume. Okay, they can consume only those goods which are produced by the state government. Next is restriction of freedom of occupation. Definitely in the capitalist economy there was freedom to make self-occupied, to make self-job. In a socialist system, equal work opportunity are provided to every citizen of the country. Because of that, this freedom of occupation was restricted. Inequalities of income greatly reduced. In a socialist system, work is ensured to everybody. Earning differs according to nature of work and ability of the worker. Sincere efforts are made to reduce income inequalities. Also, economic inequalities get reduced as there is no right to private property. Complete role of the government. Definitely nothing is to explain. As the socialist economy was formed by the government, so complete role of the government was there over the socialist economy. On all the resources, on the price mechanism, on the distribution of the goods, on the making demand and supply of the goods, related to every matter, who was taking active part, that was the government. Though private sector was involved, but who will be ruling, that is the government. Now comes the merits of socialist economy. When we come to the merits of socialist economy, students, some of the merits of a socialist economy are as follows. Very first benefit is optimum utilization of resources. When we talk about the socialist economy, the very first benefit comes resources which were not properly utilized, though the people were knowing the resources are scarce, but still they were making misutilization of resources. That was stopped by the coming of socialist economy. Socialist economy ensure optimum utilization of all human and natural resources. Production takes place according to social welfare motive and not profit motive. Efforts are made to develop all regions in an economy. The defects of capitalist economy, namely business fluctuation, anytime the business was fluctuate, anytime it become to be make the business enlarged, they were charging too much high price. So speculation, uncertainties, etc. do not exist in which society, that is socialist system of economy. Next benefit of socialist economy is satisfaction of consumers' need. Definitely the goods which were produced in the economy was according to fulfill the needs of the consumer. It was not seeing the rich and the poor, it was to fulfill the needs and wants of the people. So that satisfaction, definitely when the goods are according to the people, it satisfies the consumer. Moreover, the price which was charged, that was according to keeping in mind the social welfare of the people. So since production of goods and services is according to society's need and not according to the needs of the rich people, the real needs of the people in the society get satisfied. Next come equal distribution of income and wealth. A socialist economy brings about comparative equality of income and wealth. Now comes demerits. Definitely social economy, has we are going on learning social welfare. For social welfare also money is needed. So that opportunity has been stopped by the government. So do you think social economy completely will work? No, it has to work with the capitalist economy, some of the benefits. So let us see demerits then also. The demerits of socialist economy are as follows. The main demerits of a socialist economy are, very first, inaccurate calculation of cost. In a socialist economy, student, resources are in the hands of the government. Government is not competent to calculate correctly the factors of labor and production. Next come bureaucratic setup. All the decision related to socialist economy was done in paperwork. Everything has to be decided in paper, which makes delay in decision formation, and many of the time the decision is such a delay that it is not needed also. So socialist system has a bureaucratic setup. Bureaucrats are not efficient in running business unit because they lack motivation, fear public criticism, lack required training in economics and management, etc. Also, since state enterprise do not face competition in any form, they work inefficiently. Concentration of power in government hands. This is another drawback of socialist economy, because if completely government will be running and they are having many works of the government, so there is obvious corruption wherever economic power is in the hands of one authority. So that is the drawbacks of the socialist economy. Now comes student mixed economy. When we talk about mixed economy, again it is the mixture, as we learnt in the first chapter. Mixed economy, when we talk, socialism appeals to Jawaharlal Nehru the most. In Soviet Union, all means of production were owned by the government and there were no private property. But it is not possible in the Indian democracy to change the ownership pattern of land and other properties. Definitely. Therefore, it was not possible to adopt Soviet kind of socialism. So, what the government find, completely capitalism and completely socialism must not be done. Partial both must be adapted so that economic development of the nation can be done. And because of that, which economy taking place? Mixed economy with the merits of social as well as capitalist economy. Now comes the meaning and features of mixed economy. All economies are mixed economy. With elements of both capitalist and socialist economy, India is a mixed economy. The main features of mixed economy are as follows. Very first, ownership of properties both by the private and public sector. There is no freedom of enterprise in the private sector, but no freedom in the public sector also. That is a very good thing. Both have to work together. Private sector produces with profit motive and public sector with the welfare motive. So this is another advantage, because here money is needed for our country's development. So that will be done by the private sector. Secondly, because to make welfare of the poor people and the other people who are in the need, for that public sector also exists. Next come in the private sector, price mechanism solves the basic problem, whereas in public sector, planning mechanism will make and help to make decision related to the welfare of the society. Next benefit is competition exists but is limited to the private sector. Consumer sovereignty exists here in the mixed economy, means consumer was given more importance as compared to else. Freedom of occupation exists, because here capitalist economy also exists, so their freedom is also given, as whatever job they want to do, whatever occupation they want to start, they can start, but they must have be in limitation of the government. Considerable inequality of income exists. Definitely student, inequality here also exists, because here also if we want to make welfare of the poor, money is needed. That is not possible all the time. So here inequality of income still exists. Full role of the government in the public sector and limited role in the private sector. That is another feature of mixed economy. Price mechanism plays its role in the private sector, whereas mixed economy decide what, how and for whom to produce. In the public sector, the central planning authority decide what, how and for whom to produce. So this was the mixed economy. Student, I hope you have understood the three economics. Merits of mixed economy we will be learning. As it is very small, let us complete. Merits of mixed economy, when we see student, it gives proper scope for full play of private initiative and profit motive. Freedom of enterprise and price mechanism are allowed to influence the allocation of resources and efficiency in production. Social interest and welfare motive replaces self-interest and private profit in the public sector. Planned economic development ensures stability and balanced development. Competition between the private sector and public sector industries is to maximize productivity. Presence of both public sector and private sector is an effective compromise between the two extremes of market economy and control the economy. So these were the various merits of mixed economy. With the next topic I will be continuing in the next class. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.